how will the employee be able to work? He will not be, certainly, because of technical issues, or he is, say for example, there is a fresher who knows theoretically all the concept but his practical knowledge are weak. So what is to be done? Training is to be given, considering his work level, considering his performance. Whensoever he is performing well, do not train him or do not monitor him. But if he is not meeting up to the standard, or his knowledge is not competent enough, a training and monitoring is to be required for an employee to go through the job. Next is determining organizational training and development needs. Now, what an organization, these were the needs which we were talking about, a person's need. Now, this is the need of an organization. How the organization is to be changed. Organizes to be changed, matlab what technologies are to be included, what customer care satisfaction is to be given. Those things are to be calculated well. Next is validating hiring process. Validating hiring process means, say for example, there were certain criteria of a human being that were being considered at the time of hiring. But when we did after job evaluation after hiring, or performance evaluation after hiring, then we'll get to know that though they are qualified, their skills are not enough. Though they are having skills and ability, the knowledge is not there. Though they are having knowledge, their skills and ability are lacking. So this triangle is to be completed, and this is known only by a validating hiring decision. Next is providing legal defensibility for personal decision. Now, personal decision can be defined well or defends well by performance evaluation, improving overall organizational performance. So here we'll have track record of everything, what was there, what is to be done. So these are constant showing of what we are doing, how we are doing, why we are doing, what we are doing, how we are doing, why we are doing. These things are constantly hammered, constantly checked, constantly evaluated, so that overall performance is increased because of training, mentoring, personal decisions are lied on, promotions are to be given, compensations are to be given. So these things are to be provided to the from the organization to the employee. So all the employees will feel more motivated towards working, and ultimately organization performance will be increased. This is a very important term called appraiser. Let us define appraiser. Appraiser may be a person who, through knowledge of job content to be appraised, standard of contents, and the person who observes employee while performing a job. So when an employee is performing a job, it is a performance appraiser who checks what is the job content, what does the job has, on how it is to be appreciated, how it is to be calculated. Next, what all are the standards which are there? This is the person who makes the standard. And next, he is the person who is supposed to watch all the employees when the employees are working. The appraiser should be two of the things. First, he should be capable of determining importance of work. So he should know what is and what work are important. Priorities of the works are to be shown, or priorities of the works are to be given by an employee. And second, he should be non-biased. So if at all he like a person, but the person doesn't work well, and other person who is giving his more than 90%, and the person is not being evaluated well, so it is the duty of an appraiser that he should be non-biased. He should not to be any of the person. Let us discuss a case study. There was an employee in a production firm, car production firm. The employee was making engine, but the employee was having some of the disturbance or disputes with the manager. So what happens every year at the time of performance evaluation, that average score was below to of the person who was working very well. In the same organization and same automobile company, there was another employee who was not working very well, but he had very good relationship with the manager and the appraiser. So what used to happen was that the employer was always motivating the performer who was not doing very well, but he had good relation with them. But the person who actually was working was not getting benefits of the entire system. So a performance appraiser should not be biased. Next is performance appraisal system, 360-degree performance appraiser. Now there are various types of appraisers. Your subordinate appraise you, your peers appraise you, your managers appraise you, your team members appraise you, your customers, your suppliers, your vendor, you yourself appraise yourself, or anyone who comes in contact with the employees can provide valuable insights and information. Now when the performance is evaluated by all of these people can be called as 360-degree evaluation or 360-degree performance appraisal. What happens to an employee? The employee is central position. Now these employees are to be evaluated by each of a person. Employee is evaluated by the peers. Peers are the group of people who are at the same level of the employee. Team members are the member of the team. Say for example, there is a product management team. In that, manager is there, 2-3 subordinates are there, a junior is there, a clerk is there. All of those members additively evaluate a person, that is team member. Subordinate is the employee which is working with the employee. So your colleague can be called as your subordinate. They even will evaluate you. A supervisor, a step ahead, a manager, he even will take appraisal of you. So, and you are supposed to appraise yourself. You even will be given a list of things, and you will be given high standards. You will be given next things to be done, and those things are to be compared, and those things are to be noted down. These are typical appraisers. I repeat: subordinates, peers, managers, team members, customers, suppliers and vendors. How suppliers and vendors and customers will appraise you? Have we called any of Vodafone or any kind of service sector? Yes, have we? Yeah, we have. Now this service sector, say for example, we call Vodafone, and after the call, the lady or the guy on the other side will ask for the review. How did you like it? How did you like working with us? This was XYZ. They'll name a person and they'll say rate from 1 to 5 according to your satisfaction level. So this is how customers gonna appraise you. Next is supplier or vendor. How would your vendor will appraise you? They will appraise you on your selling style. They'll appraise you how well you can sell. They will appraise you how great you are with the customers. They will appraise how much stock you are clearing. They'll appraise you what all are the brand you are making. So in any field, supplier or vendor will again appreciate you. 360-degree measures or 360-degree appraisals measure mainly 4 things: behavior and competencies. What is behavior and competency? How does a person behave and how much a person is compatible what is the ability of the person to do the task, that is to be measured. Second thing is to be measured is his additional skill. What other than performance, what other than the task itself the person knows, that is to be measured. How this is to be measured? Say for example, there is an employee who is very good guitarist. He plans things well, he sets the goal well, but the employee or the superior may not be knowing, but the subordinate or team member may be knowing that he is very good at listening, or he is very good at planning, or he is very good at goal setting. Next is 360-degree focuses on subjective areas. Subjective areas is how well the person is with the team, how well he gels up with the team. Leadership qualities are there or not. What is the characteristic of the person? How's the characteristic? How's the character? Is he rude? He is rigid? Those things are to be measured. And last thing is, it provides feedback that what other people are thinking about the employee. Say for example, there is an employee who was very good at work. But his skills were good, but he was not listening to anyone. Or he was very good at working, but his planning was not good. He was very good at planning and goal setting, but his teamwork was not good. His character was good, but his citation towards the female employee was not good enough. So this is performance appraisal. So every time when this performance evaluation would be done, that employee will be given written data that what the other employees are thinking about the employee. Next is process of performance appraisal. This is a very simple process. Let us not complicate it. Assess, perform, develop, plan, review. Assess what all are the objectives of appraisal. Why do you need to do the appraisal? That is to be measured. Second is job expectations. What we expect from the following job. Say for example, marketing is the job. What is the need of that job? So that job expectation setting, that is the second step. Third step is design an appraisal program. Design an appraisal program is how would you do entire appraisal? What to be done? Who would be done? How it is to be done? Next is appraise the performance. Appraise that the person has done well, that or not, that measure those things. That is the next step. Next step is performance interviews. Now, the appraiser is supposed to take the interview for performance, that how the employees perform or how the employees has not performed. During interviews, the motivation and the improvements, appreciations are to be given. Next is use data for appropriate purpose. Now, whatsoever data in the appraisals and in the interview we have got, those data are to be documented and those data is to be utilized for the future utilization. Next is identify opportunity variables. Now, there is say for example, there is an employee who is very good at selling, but he is not very good at HR. Here, job performance or job appraisal is the time where you will got to know that this is an opportunity to shift an employee from one place to another place. And next is using social processes, physical processes, human and computer assistance. These things are to be documented well. So, we will again see the appraisal process: objective definition, job expectations, designing an appraisal program, appraise the performance, interviews are to be tasked, data utilization, opportunity variables and documentation of the data. This is performance appraisal process. Next is techniques or methods of performance appraisals, what techniques are to be taken or what methods are to be acquired for appraising a performance. These appraising performance methods are broadly divided into two categories: past oriented methods and future oriented methods. This may take entire day in explaining, but I'll be very brief in explaining these things are. Let us see past oriented methods. Past oriented methods are the method depending on the past, how the person has performed in the past, that is to be checked, and depending on that, evaluation of a person is to be done, and depending on that evaluation, motivation, training, etc., whatsoever is supposed to be done by a person or an appreciator, that is to be done. This is past oriented method. Method of job appraisal depending on the past track record or past tasks of a person. First method among that is rating scale. Rating scale is there is 1 to 5 rate. Happy, not happy, unhappy, justified, very happy, strongly not happy, sad. Those things are to be rated, and those things are to be rated from 1 to 5. Say for example your attitude. 1 is the lowest attitude or the person who is not likable attitude, and 5 is most likable attitude. So when your attitude is rated from 1 to 5, that method is called as rating scale method. Next is checklist method. Checklist method is a very simplified method. In that, yes and no is supposed to be given. Every question will be on yes and no. How did you like the behavior of Mr. Y? Yes, no. Did you enjoy working with your teammate? Yes, no. Did you find yourself compatible? Yes, no. So there will be every time there will be two options, and we have to check between those two, and we have to tick from those two or those 5 options only. That is checklist method. Next is forced choice method. Forced choice method is there may be number of series which are given. Say for example, let us see, did you like talking with an employee? Strongly, agree, neutral, disagree, strongly disagree. And when you choose between these 5 options, that is called as forced choice method. Next is forced distribution method. Forced distribution method is scaling from high scaling rating to lower